the biggest issue, but that's a good way to think about it.
And then as you can see on the sheet, like if you don't have a contact person, still put the company name and address because like you still want to be addressing it to something. But like really do try to find a contact person, even if you're not sure if it's the right contact person. Like it's better to have someone in the hiring department because it does show that like you did your research and you do here.
So now Stephanie's going to tell you how to get your signature at the bottom.
So like Megan said, you want to make sure that you do sign your cover letter. And there are a couple of ways to do that. You can do like Sarah Wiles. She just chose a different font and sign hers. But if you actually want to make it more personal and have your actual signature, you can actually print out a copy of your letter, sign it with your hand, and then scan it back in. Or there's an alternate way where you can take a piece of paper this big and sign your name with like a felt pen all across the paper, and then scan that. You can save it as a JPEG. You can just insert that on any cover letter that you have.
Yeah, like at first that might seem like kind of a lot of work, but you just need to do that one time, like save it as a JPEG, and then all your future cover letters have like a really nice handwritten signature. Okay, so now we're gonna get into like our final little tips and tricks for you guys. There are a lot of just like little things that we really think can make or break your cover letter. So as we've talked about already, make sure that you really do address the qualifications in your job posting. When Emma read you guys the job posting earlier for this one, there's like certain words in it, like facilitated ethics, that were mentioned on the job posting that she used specifically in her cover letter to show that she really does match this position really well.
So next you're going to also do use specific examples. I'm going to pick 3 to 5, but like don't try and fit your whole resume into a cover letter. But like I mentioned earlier, pick a couple that you think really highlight your qualifications and skills for this specific job and expand on those a lot more.
You want to revise and check your grammar and spelling errors, and so you just want to remember that you're not only just applying for a job, but you're also showing them how well you write and how well you can communicate your ideas. So you want to make sure you have people looking over it. You can make an appointment with your career counselor, or if you have a mentor, someone who can look over it and check for those different errors. Because I mean, it just doesn't look good if you have this, like you have the punctuation where it shouldn't be, or you don't have it at all, things like that.
Yeah, even just having your friends go over it a couple times is really helpful just because it shows like if you do have grammatical errors, it just shows to the company that you didn't put a lot of time into this, that you don't really care about this position, you're probably applying to a bunch of them, and then they're not invested in you.
Yeah, if you feel like you're not a very strong writer either, you can always take it to the writing center here at State as well. They'll definitely look over that for you.
Okay, another thing that you definitely should do is transition smoothly between thoughts, and you can see this in Sarah's cover letter too, is that while you do want to be like hitting specific examples and saying like, I'm qualified, I deserve this, and alternating between I love you, you love me, you want to make sure that it transitions really smoothly, like when you're reading over all of it, so that it doesn't sound jumbled or choppy.
One thing that you want to avoid also is passive voice. So this goes back to your action verbs in the career guide. Something you want to like stay away from in writing in general. So I know if you've taken a writing course here at State, they'll have gone over that with you as well. So it just keeps you more in control, like you sound more like active. Or not, that's not a good word, but you know what I mean. Like you sound
We're like confident,
yeah,
we're
confident. That's what I'm
capable.
looking for.
And like you said before, you do not want to exceed 1 page. You have to remember that employers get hundreds of these, and just like a resume, they don't have time to flip a page. They'll just talk it out. So make sure you don't exceed 1 page.
And then like pretty related to that would be not rambling. You want to make sure that you're concise. You want to make sure that in your body paragraphs, like when you're saying why you're qualified, you're not just restating the same thoughts, because this is just like a quick thing for them to look over and get to know you. And if they feel like you're just rambling about the same things, they won't think you're as qualified because they'll think you're just restating the same one information.
And definitely don't send it as a .docs file. You're going to want to send this as a PDF. I mean, there are a number of reasons. So if you open a Word file on someone else's computer, the formatting could get messed up. So like you see at the top of this cover letter, she has the same heading as on a resume, and that's a formatting thing that could be very easily messed up from computer to computer, depending on what system she sends it on. Also, it can't be edited before it reaches whoever it's reaching. I feel like that's a very extreme case, but you want to cover all your bases. So a PDF is the way to go on this.
And if you look at the top of hers, just to speak on this, she uses the same heading as her resume, which isn't something that you need to do at all, but it really speaks to a level of professionalism and makes you look very prepared and very business-like professional to have them flow together because they will be reading your cover letter before they read your resume. Okay, does anyone have questions?
Should we make think the right side is the power left, Peter.
I would justify it.
Yeah.
I would, personally, but that's another one of those personal matters. I think it makes it look more professional, more clean, but it's not one of those makes right things. It's not gonna get you disqualified from a job for not doing that.
Do you have anything to say, Sarah, on that?
I was just gonna say, what was the question?
She was asking, should you justify the paragraphs?
Yeah.
Okay, and then if anyone has any more questions or wants to see us after with more questions, that'd be great. We would love to help you. If not, you can go ahead and go to this website if you want to fill out your phones. And once again, we're Megan, Stephanie, and Emma. And this module is called Covering Cover Letters. If you can just fill out this survey to help us, it would be helpful.
What are your guys' last names? I know it all.
Megan, Angeline.
And then
We should be
it's
the
on,
only
there's a
Megans.
drop down
Oh, okay.
list. Yeah, so you can select from it. Alright, thank you all for coming. If you have any questions about anything that we didn't address, you can come talk to us after, or you can always stop by 2100 Fulton Hall. Our walk-in hours on Monday and Friday, 11 to 2. You can also make appointments on ePack. So thank you all and have a nice night.